What's up, guys? Welcome to Dirt Floor Garage. Today we're going to be looking at the old 350 out of the 79 Nova factory stock dirt car. Last time around at the track she wasn't sounding too good, so we pulled her out and took it apart and going to try to diagnose it today. Let's get into it. So first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Corey, and I started making these videos for none other than the fact that I really enjoy working on cars and being around race cars and being in this old dirt floor garage. But, you know, I don't know what I'm doing. I just do it for fun, so do not take anything seriously that you see here. Most of the stuff I'm going to do, I had to Google before I did it. Let's just get that out of the way, okay? Okay. First things first, we're going to try to get some diagnosis on this old 350. Last time at the track, man, coming out of turn 4, she'd just get her up about 4,500 RPM. She'd start pop, 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 pop. And we're going to look into that, see what's really going on. She was burning a little bit of oil, had a little bit of blow-by. Not to mention the fact that when I bought the car, the motor was frozen solid, and I broke it loose with a pry bar and then took it straight to the track after that. That probably didn't help anything at all. So let's take a look at what we got. I'm gonna piddle you around over here so you can put your eyeballs on what we're really working with. Okay? Alright. A couple days ago, my buddy Cody came over here and loaned me this old cherry picker to pull the motor out of this long snout old baby, because my little Harbor Freight was not quite long enough to get the job done. But we got the motor all pulled out and tore apart, and let's go over just a couple things real quick that I see that's really problematic for us. First things first, cylinder walls looking a little iffy down in there. Like I said, she was frozen solid. I broke her apart, got her moving. But she ran okay in the driveway. No, not really. But we took her to the racetrack anyway. Oh no, she got a chip in her. She's got a chip in her. That's not good. Probably need a good bore job on that one. And looking at the pistons, mind you, I have 101 pieces of this motor scattered all over the place under that shelf. I'm never going to find all this stuff to put it back together. That's okay. Anyway, looking at this piston right here. Was it this one? Nope, not that one. This one. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. That is not good. Man, oh man. So a man's definitely going to have to get some new pistons. Cam's a little wore out in the rear section. Crank journals scored to pieces. Just absolutely scored. Possibly turn the crank. Who knows? I'm going to flip this motor over and look at the bottom of this motor here, and we'll go from there. Okay, got the motor flipped over. Gonna have a problem right there. I don't have a cam bearing tool. These cam bearings absolutely gone. How does a man even do that? Gosh. I'm starting to think maybe the cam was stuck and it wasn't the pistons. It wasn't the pistons at all. That's okay. We'll have her. We'll have her. Golly. So as I said, I don't have a cam bearing tool. Like 30 bucks online, I think. So I'm going to do what anybody would do and probably make my own instead of buying one. But we're not going to get to that right now. I'm about as broke comes at the moment. It's going to be a couple weeks before I can do anything. But right now, we're just going to look at the damage and report. So, okay, let's get back to it. There's a couple of things a man has to consider before he really digs into putting some work into this engine. My rules only let us go 60 over. I saw a manufactured tag on the block of this engine. I don't have a lot of faith that all the cylinders are the same size. Unfortunately, I don't have a bore dial either. So we got something close that we're going to maybe measure with the tape measure and do some calculations and figurations and, get a rough guess of where we're at. And then we'll see what we got to do. I hear the biggest rat just chewing straight through the freaking ceiling in this thing. Oh, I love a dirt floor garage. Love it. So a man doesn't have a bore dial, but he's got a little, whatever this is called. I found it in Dad's toolbox. We're just going to lock her down and drive her in there, open her up and lock her down again. Maybe spin it around a couple times and see if she's the same size. Well, she's not egg-shaped. That's good. Alright. It's locked in. Whoop. Try that again. Okay. That cylinder. Oh, yes. Okay, so all the cylinders feel like they're the same size, so we're off to a pretty good start. I'm going to try to find a dirty old tape measure somewhere in the floor and measure this. Probably not the way to do it, but that's how we're going to do it. Okay, so I was not lying when I said extra dirty tape measure in the floor. I don't even know where this came from. Whose is this? Anyway, let's measure this thing right here. So, go from that end to that end. Looks like 1/16. A little less than 1/16. Well, that's not good. That's not good at all. I don't know if you can even read that. She's a little longer than 4 inches, though. That's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. So in case you didn't know, a standard 350 Chevrolet small block, the bore size is 4 inches. 4.00000, whatever. 4 inches. When we were tearing this apart, I saw a manufactured tag on the block, and that really got the wheels a turning. I wasn't feeling too positive about it, remanufactured block. And this little tag right there is what really gave me the hunch on that. And she's measuring a little bit less than 1/16, and I'm going to get on the Googles and do the fraction to decimal to period, all that good stuff, and see what she comes up with, but not looking good. So, according to googlia, 1/16 of an inch is 0.0625. That was a little under 1/16 of an inch. So I'm thinking she's 60 over already, which is very unfortunate. That explains a lot of the cooling issues I was having. Pulled off the track, she was running 260 degrees, but my class rules only allow for 60 over, 362 cubic inches. And those cylinders are pretty bad. They need a good flat stone hone, and very concerned that probably going to end up taking 15 thousandths out of it with that. We can't have that. Man needs a new block. Very unfortunate. So since we're fully aware that we're absolutely dicked when it comes to the block, let's take a look at the rest of this stuff. I want to take a look at the cam. It seemed a little dry. The old cam seemed a little dry. No thumpy thump. Somebody told me there was a cam in this thing, so I'd like to take a look at the cam. Magical. Man just found something very informative. Can you see that? It says Crower. Crower? No way. No way. This has to be an RV cam or something. Look at her. Lobe's about wore off down there. Where's she at? Yeah, look at that. She's about round. Golly. Okay. Let's do some digging on these numbers here and see what we come up with. 260H something. Okay, so we found the Found the cam that's in here. Chevrolet Performance Level 122. I knew that. Knew that on the track. Okay. V8. Valve lash. Lobe center 112. Lift 287. Okay. 431 lift. Oh my goodness. That's all? Red line 4,500. My God. I was turning this bad boy about 55 on the racetrack. Golly. Oh, I feel bad for this motor now. Oops. Okay. So, now that we know that we've absolutely destroyed the internals of this thing, just maxing her out way past her max capacity, just not giving a toot. And now, you know, pretty much got to replace everything. Cam bearings are jacked up. Needs a new crank, or get the crank turned, but no, probably gonna not. Needs a motor. Need a couple motor. Yeah, we need a new engine. Yeah, pretty much what it boils down to. Maybe guy might know a guy that's got 2 or 3 for about $350. Might be a couple weeks before we can do that, but we'll make that happen. Maybe we can take 3 engines and make one good one. 168 horsepower. I'm never going to keep up with these guys. Gosh. You know, truly in the midst of all of my complaining about this old car, I'm still really thankful to get the opportunity to do something like this. I went to my first dirt race that I remember going to, my buddy Jonathan, and ever since then, that's all I ever wanted to do. I just never had the funds to do it, and finally we made it happen. I ended up with this jalopy. You know, she needs a little work, but through a little power and dedication, family, good friends, we got her on the track. She wasn't the best, but I had a blast doing it. So no matter how it goes, no matter the engine status, drivetrain, what have you, it doesn't matter. It's all about having a good time. And I definitely have a good time, and I'm forever thankful for the people that helped me get here. Always. Anyhow, let's get back to complaining. This, jacked. That, jacked. That, super small, red line, 4,500, my bad. This, jacked. This, got a chip in her. Got a chip in her. No good. Not to mention, 60 freaking over, boys. Come on. 60 over. Who does that? Who does that? Oh, cam bearings. Blacker than my soul. Okay? You can't see in there. Why am I trying? God. Anyway, let's talk about the good parts. I do have this old Saginaw that I went through 2 clutch forks, 1 clutch disc, 2 throw-up bearings, and 3 shift linkages just to make it work. Not to mention the fact that I had to build my own transmission mount, because this thing doesn't have one. But hey, she works. Even more gooder equipment. This fancy radiator that only has 1 hole that JB Weld definitely took care of. Definitely took care of. You know, that's a man's best tool to have in the shop. JB Weld. Essentially, what this all boils down to is I have a lot of not good, very bad parts, a couple of really good, okay, maybe parts, a car that could probably use a Sunday service and an exorcism, and a lot of dedication. A very helpful family. We can do this, but probably not today, or this week. Maybe next paycheck, but not this one. So in case you guys wanted to know what I looked like on the racetrack, I started off driving like this, then it went to like this, and then I was like, hey, yeah, just throw the groceries in the back. I'll get there eventually. I also don't know if I welcomed you guys to the dirtiest garage in America or not either. The thing's made out of freezer walls from some restaurant that shut down in 1974. The insulation is held up with some banners that I got at my old job. Obviously not all of it. There's rats the size of footballs walking around through here. I just hear them just tearing the flesh off the place. But it's not very warm. Rather cold. But it keeps me dry. And my family spends a lot of time in here. I love it. Wouldn't have it any other way. unless I had a concrete floor. Concrete would be nice. Let's also take a second to talk about the Hougiers. The Hougiers. This is proof that you can run any dirty old pull-off from your next rich IMCA guy, and it'll get you around the track. You may slip around like a dog on ice, but it gets you out there. You can do circles. It doesn't matter. It ain't got to be pretty, especially if you're just going out there to have fun. So, if you want to race, and you about broke like I am, just get you one of these. And you'll forever be disappointed that you can't afford to buy parts for it every week and work on it like you want to. And seeing how we've already determined that the old Ingione is definitely garbage, we'll just walk around the car a little bit and point out different things that probably aren't going to serve it a lot of justice in the future. You know, like this cage that came out of a 1989 late model that was retrofitted into this 1979 kind of factory stock, hobby stock, not even close to a street stock. But it gets you around. See now, holy, look how unsafe that is. Goodness. I cannot believe that I did 45 miles an hour around a dirt track in this thing. Lucky I didn't lose a toe. Lucky I didn't lose a toe. Definitely got some pretty expensive parts in here, though. You can buy that at your local Dollar General. It ain't pretty, but it gets you around. We'll just take a second to appreciate the significance of this fuel cell. No rollover valve is needed when you got your fuel filter shoved down in here. That just lets it breathe. You know, a couple of heads, throw it in the back for some weight. That's actually not that uncommon, I was told. I think it's kind of dumb. But hey, it gets you around. I'm also not trying to toot my own horn here or not, but this old paint job's not too bad. Did this with about 47 cans of spray paint and 2 rolls of duct tape, a little bit of pencil, a couple X-Acto knives, out in the baking hot sun, 2 days before the first race, and the last one. But that's okay. She looks fine. Stickers make her quickers. Stickers make her quickers. Anyway, now that I've welcomed you guys to the dirt floor garage and showed you the junk that I got sitting around that we're going to work on, you know, we're going to be doing a few different things. Whatever we can get our hands on, whatever we can afford. There's a 454 and a flatbed out here that we plan on rebuilding in a couple days, weeks, months maybe. You know, might even see a couple pigs. Hopefully, rat and snake might fall out of the ceiling and give us a little something to talk about in the video. But anyway, appreciate you guys watching today. Give me a like, comment, subscribe, share, send me $1. Don't do that. I don't need charity. Thank you.